Testing 1, 2. All right, guys, give it just a moment. We'll make sure I'm live here and everything's going well. And I have to open a new tab here so I can track chat. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to give it a couple minutes. I'm going to be here for, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. Just let some more people find out that I'm live. And we get a few more people into the room here so we can have a little fun. Oh, how's everybody doing, man? Yeah, I know my Buffalo Bills lost, but man, was that a shootout or what? What a great game. You know, if I had to lose to anybody, the Kansas City Chiefs was a good team to lose to. What was it, 25 points scored in the last, I don't know, 2 minutes of the game. Absolutely great game. So I'm really pleased that the Bills played so well. So we'll give it just a couple more minutes. We'll let some more people fill into the room because for some reason when I schedule these, it doesn't quite work out. I haven't figured that out. I schedule them through OBS, and it doesn't always work out. But I told everybody that I'd be streaming live, so hopefully they'll be keeping their eye out. Let me get a little extra light here. The sun's actually starting to go down. I'm going to turn on my other studio light just a minute. I'm proud to have the most informal pod or video cast or whatever you want to call it, live stream, most informal live stream on YouTube that anybody actually shows up for. All right, a couple more minutes, guys. Let me see. I'll give it one more minute and then we'll get started. Kuzma says, love your content, bro. My dad passed away when I was 11 and my mother turned to alcohol. Your videos helped me a lot. Thank you so much. You're welcome. These videos are therapy for me. They're maybe, I don't know, entertaining for you, but they certainly help me. I enjoy it. It's a heck of a lot of fun.
You need many years of therapy. Many, many, many years of therapy. And I bullshit you not.
That's my own advice to myself on that one. All right, so we'll get started here. I'll keep an eye out for super chats. I'll try to read them as I go so I don't miss any. And as you can see from the main thumbnail here, first of all, before you guys ask, her name is Yael Cohen Aris. That's YaelCohenaris. Yael Cohen Aris, and she's a very, very pretty woman. I'm going to start using these in more of my thumbnails because she has a very nice hip to waist to all that stuff ratio, man. I'm telling you. Do you know Yael? It says Danny Play says Jail. It's so weird. Joker. It's so weird seeing the girl in your thumbnails when I know her IRL. Yael Cohen Aris is very, very pretty. So if you know her, congratulations. I'm sure she shut you down like everybody else. And if not, congratulations on dating her. But she's very pretty. I like the very classic. I have a thing for nice curves like this. Let's see. So she left you and broke your heart. Now, this can go in a couple of different ways. For guys that are not currently dating and haven't had the ability to date, that's okay. You're just not able to get any girls. And for the guys that have had girls and have lost the girls, that's okay too. And the reason being why is because girls are starting to get a little bit crazy nowadays. Tyler says, should I let my girlfriend go to a frat party? Digging it up from 2 live streams ago. That's a joke. Somebody else was being a troll and asking funny questions like that. So, all right. So, why do I talk about it's okay Let's see. Is this? There we go. Make sure my scenes change correctly. Why do I say it's okay that you don't have a girl right now? You can't get one. You lost the one you loved. She broke your heart. You got divorced. Something went wrong. The truth is that's okay because the women nowadays are becoming incredibly not only difficult, not only choosy, they leave men for good reasons, and they're becoming relatively unreasonable to date. And that's not to say that you need to hate women or dislike women or talk badly about women. I don't think that at all. As a matter of fact, I think you can still like women very much, and you like looking at them and talking to them, and you have friends like them and even date them. That's all fine. But if you're thinking about somehow finding the perfect woman or the right woman or a traditional conservative woman that's going to meet all your needs, it's going to be really hard. And say it all with me, as I've said it before, it's like looking for a needle in a needle stack. They do exist, but you're going to have to sort through a lot of them that kind of look the same, and you're going to get pretty bloodied up and banged up, and it's going to be very painful. And even then, when you find the right one, she may not be the right one. Shane Birmingham, thank you very much for the £5 donation. So let's move into what I'm talking about here. So today, instead of doing the crazy TikTok videos of all the women that are doing crazy things, today I'm going to talk about some articles that basically show. Now you can say again, well, these are only 3 girls or 5 girls, or look, I've done 500 videos. I talk about all these different circumstances. If it's crazy enough out there that they're making it into the newspapers and they're making it into, I don't know, mainstream, then it's going to be pretty easy to say, hey, you know what? It's going to be pretty easy to say, hey, it's going to be tough to get somebody. Let me find since somebody's in here being an idiot, let me see if we can. We're just going to do a little bit of removal here, and then let me see if I have any of my. Do I have any of my normal locals gang on here? If I do, just because I know many of them and I chat with them privately on betterbachelor.locals.com. And if I do, I'll make them into a moderator. If not, I'll keep an eye on the chat. And I already blocked Sir Zert, the loser there. All right, so we're going to go over some stories that kind of proves my whole theory on why women themselves have become undateable. So thank you, Brown, for the $2 donation. All right, so first article I have, as soon as it'll pull up here. This is from Casual UK. All right, and this was just a post that was put. I think somebody was being funny. This is it's a UK-based subreddit on non-political news, commentary, and discussion on Reddit. And there's a reason why I'm reading this story, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. It says, divorce or stay together for the children. And then this user posted her husband's failed attempt at making cheese on toast. And I got to admit, this is a pretty bad cheese on toast sandwich. Let's be honest about it. Steve says, Joker, do you ever think about talking to Courtney Ryan on one-on-one on YouTube? I agree and disagree with some of the things she says. You know, I haven't checked any of her work, but I'll make a little note here. Courtney Ryan. I'll check. If that's her YouTube channel name, I'll check that out. And yeah, I'll look into it. I'll look into it. Okay. Let's see here. Now, I need to find a moderator. Is there anybody here from my locals channel? Anyone? Bueller. The only reason I ask for my locals viewers is because I know most of them. Thank you, Sir Weed Ventura. All right, we'll keep going until I find one of my locals guys, and then I'll keep an eye on the chat here and try to bump out the moderators. They're just going to keep. All right, Steve, you are now my moderator. If anybody starts spamming anything, you can pump them out. And let me be clear, anybody that's a moderator for my channel, People are allowed to have views that are critical of me. That is okay. We always allow that. We just want to make sure to kick out anybody that is behaving poorly. Okay, thanks. All right, so anyway, so this woman, this is all the Reddit post says, divorce or stay together for the children. That's it, and it's a picture of a bad cheese sandwich. Okay, that's funny. It's funny. But look at this. From the Sun, let me make sure I put my overlay here. So this is the post. Sorry, let me pull this up again. So they on this post it just says divorce or stay together for the children, and then it's a bad cheese sandwich. That's the joke. That's the thing, I guess. And that's it. I mean, if you come down here, people are like, yeah, do a divorce swap meet with me and my boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and they cancel each other out, and it's a joke, right? It's a joke. But out of this is what they come up with. This is what they come up with. From the Sun, cheesed off, I want to divorce my husband after his epic cooking fail was the final straw. Do you see any of that here? It says divorce or stay together for the children. And it's a joke. It's a bloody joke about a bad cheese sandwich. But the Sun decides to write off of this, I want to divorce my husband after his epic cooking fail was the final straw. Where did it say anything about the final straw? But I want you to read this, because this is the epitome of fake news. This is where so much of the stuff that comes out and talks negative about men, they just made up a narrative off the top of their head. They say, even if you're in the happiness relationship of your life, chances are you're still going to have to deal with deal breakers. Okay. For some, cheating is a totally unforgivable offense, while others go to running for the hills if they don't like your partner's friends or family. Okay. But for this woman, her husband's feeble attempt at a cheese on toast has got her questioning everything. And to be honest, we can't say we blame her. What? Earlier this week, Mom posted a photo of the potentially life-changing snack on Reddit's casual forum, asking other members for advice. The woman wrote, divorce or stay together for the children. Although the woman had asked for toast, her husband thought it was acceptable to bring her a piece of soggy bread. Mistake number one. Adding insult to injury, he then added just 4 very small chunks of cheese on top. Mistake number two. But the real nail in the coffin was the fact that it couldn't have been put under the grill for more than 5 seconds, as the cheese had barely melted. 3 strikes, you're out. Needless to say, the offending meal sparked serious backlash on Reddit, where people said the woman was right to be miffed. That's the story. While a third described it as actual treason. They got all that, guys. They got all that from a picture of this with a divorce or stay together for the children. This is the epitome of fake news. This is exactly what I talk about. This is exactly what I talk about. This is a silly, like, fun post, and they use that quick little post to just come out with an article to trash men for no reason. Nothing. That's it. Jan Laundry says sends $50. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And let's see, I got a 21. Greg Abrams. Women are powerless if we do not marry them, and if we do not get them pregnant. We all need to stand together, and divorce laws will change overnight, but I got a vasectomy at 26. Best decision. FJB, let's go, Brandon. Yeah, I got my snip at about 35, I think, and it only took me that long because I had so many jobs that didn't have insurance. So, but again, here's the point, guys, and I just wanted to read this real quick to kind of get us into a warm-up here, is they made this entire post about trashing on men over a joke post of this on Twitter. Because the truth is, I found this story first. And I was like, why would a woman really divorce somebody over a piece of toast? Like, and she really had her questioning everything. I said, that sounds really weird. And then I followed the link back to the Reddit forum, and when I saw this was it, I was like, really? But that's what they're going to crap all over us guys about. Give me a break. All right, let me jump in here. I'm going to remove stories as I go. Here's another one I wanted to talk about, okay? Guys, now, you know as well as I do that we can agree that this is not necessarily a model. She's not a supermodel here. But again, this is from The Sun, and it's trash. But why I read this trash, why I think this trash is important, is because this is what people read. Okay, we call them normies, right? The people that are not really on Twitter or on Reddit or on YouTube. Like, there's a lot of people that don't come here and watch content. They're normies. They watch the news. They read the New York Post, or they read The Sun. They read these trashy magazines or articles. And they're like, oh, this is the news. This is where society is. So the reason why I read these is because this is what women and or young women of today are seeing. And if this is what they're seeing, you need to know what they're being spoon-fed so that you can understand why when the world goes crazy and you don't understand what's going on, you go, okay, I got it. Like, they're getting all this weird stuff from the news. So this supermodel here, out of love, I ended my perfect marriage after 14 years despite no rose, no cheatings, and no secrets. This is part of what, again, imagine you're the perfect guy. You treat your wife wonderfully. You try to be caring to her. You try to meet her needs. You try to give her everything that she desires, and she leaves you. As a dude, you think to yourself, I've failed as a man. I've screwed up. I've obviously done something wrong. She didn't tell me there was any problems. And this is where guys get depressed. This is where guys get sad. This is where guys get upset. And the crazy thing of it is here she even admits he didn't do anything wrong. Out of love, I ended my perfect marriage after 14 years despite no rose, no cheating, and no secrets. So no problems. But she just went, I'm done. I'm done. And on B, I'm a woman. Congratulations. We need more people like you to speak the truth without anger and finger pointing. Oh, I love finger pointing. I finger point all the time, but just to the bad ones, not to women in general. I don't say all women are bad. I just say that woman, avoid them like this one. So that's me finger pointing. Me and my friends are talking about how bad censorship is getting to, we see it, YouTube and big tech. Yeah, so if you guys didn't, I had this story, and I have it in another browser. Let me bring it up real quick. I wasn't really going to talk about this, but since you brought it up, I'll dump this in real quick to my main browser here. There we go. Spotify drops Neil Young after he forces them to choose between his music and Joe Rogan's podcast. And they're like, oh, too bad, so sad. Too bad, so sad. Bye-bye, boomer. And they chose Joe Rogan over Neil Young. I like Neil Young's music. I don't know anything about his politics, but he decided to come out and try to pressure Spotify to remove Joe Rogan, and they're like, yeah, no. Like, you get, I don't know. I think he gets a few million views a month probably with Spotify or listens, but that's one song on Spotify for 3 minutes. Joe Rogan gets, 300 million views a month on Spotify, and he puts on 2 and 3 and 4 hour podcasts. Yeah, so they just tossed him. Deborah Hughes says, Joker, your political views are the real joke. I haven't said anything about politics yet. I haven't said anything about politics. I'm just saying that Neil Young threatened to censor or to remove his content if they don't censor Joe Rogan, and they're like, no, that's not politics. That's freedom of speech. I'm all about freedom of speech. And if Joe Rogan called for some reason for Neil Young's music to be removed off Spotify, I'd call out Joe Rogan for that. But Joe doesn't do that, you see. Mr. Pliskin says another collab with Undead Chronic will be dope. I love Brittany Venti's ta-ta-has. I don't know Brittany Venti's and whose that is, but I will look into it. Yeah, I'm not even talking about politics yet. Chaz it up. Joker, thank you for everything. I recently went through some bad stuff with a girl, but I've been hitting the gym, never felt better being alone. Yes, always. Look, the gym may not necessarily solve your problems, but it will get rid of stress. It will let you burn off some of that negative energy in a positive way, and it will make you healthier. So definitely do it. Do it. Do it. Steve said, Joker, you helped me out a lot. I'm lost for words trying to find love. Games, lies, and ghosts is what I get. I focus on me. Women are a joke. Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing, guys. And I mean this, and I mean this in all shapes and forms, okay? If you focus on women, you will fail. Every time, no matter what. You will fail. If you focus your life on women, you'll never get a woman. Period. Because your priorities are wrong. If you put your focus on the gym and your health and doing activities that you love and making tons of friends and bringing in a good income or bettering yourself that way, you know, months, days, months, weeks, years will go by and without a woman, and you'll be fine. You won't even miss it. You won't even think about it. Trust me, I know. So, you know, but anyway, yeah, so basically Spotify tossed Neil Young after he threatened it. And the other one. Now, I do not listen to, let me just put this out there first. I do not listen to Dan Bongino. He's, I guess, a conservative radio podcaster or YouTuber or something. I don't listen to him, but YouTube banned him because he spoke against the jabs. And whether you're for or against or conservative or left-leaning or whatever, don't care. You do you. The whole point is that, again, the censorship is out there. So, you know, just be aware of it. But it is going to be entertaining because God only knows how much longer I'm even going to be able to be here because I don't know. All right. So anyway, out of love, I ended my perfect marriage after 14 years, despite no rose, no cheating, no secrets. The last straw in Claire Lodge's marriage was not discovering her husband cheated. There had been no blazing fights or secrets. In fact, a friend told her she should be grateful her husband had not strayed and was not addicted to gambling or something. And again, guys, we're not talking about like this gal is, you know, a 10 and she's like, oh, I deserve better. She's very much an average woman of her age. B-Dog 1323 says, imagine a husband coming home and the house is a mess and he says, that's it, I want a divorce for this. And all we'd hear is,
how dare you?
All we'd hear is, how dare you? Exactly. Esito Rusco says, man, Joker, you were my first RP content, and I started consuming when my marriage was done, December 2020. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, too. I'm glad I can be here entertaining you guys. And the reason why I keep jumping in instead of reading super chats at the end is because, for some reason, they don't last very long, and I want to make sure if you guys donate that I read them. Nixon Talks. What's up, man? Keeping it real over the last couple of years, Joker. Peace out to you, too. Thank you, brother. And thank you, Tomo K77. Tomok 77 or Tomo K77. You guys have very, very unique YouTube names, let me tell you. So what did Mr. Wrong do that she left him? Nothing. Claire made the decision to end her marriage to David, which is a fake name. They changed it, although I'm probably pretty sure he's excited to be divorced, when their daughter was age 7, despite everything seeming fine. But 6 years on, and with divorce finalized last October, Claire said it was the right decision, and it has made her a better mother. Now, you might say to yourself, hold up, wait a minute.
Hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
You might say to yourself, wait a minute. 7 years together, that's the 7-year itch. There's a movie named after it. The reason why is because after 7 years, 6 years, a lot of couples get bored of it. Obviously, she did. But she says that being a single mom makes her a better mother. That literally makes no sense. What now? Maybe it means the husband can't, like, say as much and doesn't have as much input. That I'll agree with, but that doesn't make her a better mother. And it's worse for the kid. The 46-year-old communications manager from Wakefield, West Yorkshire, urges other women to follow their hearts if they're trapped in unhappy marriages. Now, she says, well, follow your heart if you're in an unhappy marriage. But remember, up here she said he did nothing wrong. There was no fights, he didn't cheat, he didn't do anything wrong. But she was unhappy. Why? Because the butterflies were gone. The tingles were gone. They had been together. Now, she was 40 years old because they said 6 years on and off. Is that right? Because it said 14-year marriage, right? Oh, let me make sure I get this right. Okay, yeah, perfect marriage after 14 years. So it's longer than the 7-year itch, but I guess they're saying 6 years on and with a divorce finalized. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe the divorce talk took a little while. Basonova Lobrecht says, hey, Joker, I'm a big fan. I like the more neutral, analytical approach you take with discussing topics. Yeah, I'm not super emotional about any of this stuff. You can't be. If you get super emotional over our society today, you're going to go crazy. You got to stay even-minded. But you know something? Here's something that's important, okay? The talk that I'm doing today is going to show you the craziness that some of these women are going through, which is why if you stay level-headed, number one, you're going to be okay. And number two, you're going to see that they're not level-headed. They're all over the place. Let's see. Mitchell Trable says, Joker, just want to say you helped me through some very tough times in my life. I just finished school to work on aircraft in December, and I'm going to start a new job building helicopters next week. Thank you. That's awesome, dude. Are you going to, I know you don't have to super chant the answer for this because I don't want you to have to pay to answer me. I don't know if it's like Sikorsky or who you're going to be working with, but one of my cousins actually worked for Sikorsky and had a very good career with them. So good luck to you. I hope that works out well, sir. And let's see, did I miss any? Okay, so 14 years. So she's now 46. That means, guys, she got married at 32 years old. She got married at 32 years old. So why would she get married at 32 years to this guy that she didn't really apparently want to stay with or didn't have these feelings for? Thank you, Rise Williamson. Because she hit the wall. She was 32. She wanted kids. And she's like, I got to get moving on this. Claire says, I had been thinking about ending things for at least 2 years before I did it, but I kept fighting it because I didn't want to hurt my husband or my child. But the spark was gone. The spark was gone.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Of course, the spark was gone. The butterflies were gone. She said, then one Sunday I physically couldn't function. Wow, Captain Dramatic. I knew what I had to do, but I didn't have the energy or the strength to deal with it. I could only lay in bed. Apparently waking up, filing for divorce, and taking half your husband's crap takes a lot of energy. Lemon Ration says, started watching you ever since you got a shout out from the MGTOW podcast. You should check them out. Keep up the good work. I don't know about that. I mean, I'm not familiar, but let me write it down. I will always check out other content creators. As you can see, I take my handy dandy notes here. So I will check it out. Thank you, sir. So anyway, eventually I did get up as promised, or I'd promised to give my parents a lift, but I was on the verge of a panic attack. My heart was pounding. I had pins and needles shooting up my arm. Oh, dramatic. Oh, I'm so dramatic. Oh, I'm divorce. Dramatic. Blah, blah, blah. You guys get it. There wasn't anything awful which had come up. We were one of those couples who constantly argue, or we were not one of those couples who constantly argued. We still got on very well and could have a laugh. But the spark was gone, and I was deeply unhappy, feeling trapped and panicky all the time. And look, guys, here's the thing. This is why this is important, right? He didn't do anything wrong. She just didn't have the butterflies anymore. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't cheat on her. He didn't do anything bad. They still had laughs. They probably still had date nights. Oh, Reese Williamson. Thank you, Reese. Hey, man, different countries, different spellings, different languages. I called her Jana Hawking until a bunch of Aussies yelled at me that it was actually Yana Hawking. Like, I don't. Thank you, sir, for the correction. And the other $2. When I broke up with David, he still wanted to make things work, but he was very calm. He probably thought I would change my mind again, but I knew it wouldn't happen. See, this is what I'm talking about. The guy didn't do anything right. Or excuse me, the guy didn't do anything wrong. She decides to break it off because she doesn't have the butterflies. He says, hey, well, let's work on this. I want to stay together with you. Let's make this happen. And she was like, nope. She says, I feel incredibly guilty that it was all my fault. Well, it is. It is entirely your fault, 100%. And then they start talking about divorce statistics. I mean, the divorce statistics are going up through the roof. But you know, the whole thing is, guys, Daniel Davols says, great content, also on Locals. Keep doing you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the support over on Locals. Here's the thing, guys. You can do nothing wrong. You can be a supportive, good husband. You can be a good, supportive dad. But the tingles, once the tingles go, that's it. And she's now 46. And again, look, I'm not making fun of her. I'm not giving her a hard time. But she's decidedly average looking. If she thinks that she's going to be able to go out there and get the tingles from some other guy that's going to want to settle down with her, like, the odds are against you. The odds are against you. And the same thing probably for the dude. He's probably going to have a hard time too. Johnny D. Smithson says, medic in the U.S., your vids help me get my mind off some of what I've seen as I've become unhappy with my job. Left field. Your thoughts on Ukraine? Man, we need to stay out of Ukraine. Look, I know people in Ukraine. I traveled to Kyiv in Ukraine and a couple other small cities in Ukraine. I loved Ukraine. I loved Kyiv. It was a cool city. Now, I mean, I think I want to say most, if not half, at least half-ish of the people that live there actually speak Russian still fluently, like it is their first language. So Ukrainian and Russia are very closely tied. And there were a lot of Russians there as well. So I don't think it's our business. I mean, our southern border is wide open right now. We have hundreds of thousands of immigrants coming across our borders. I think if we're going to be this worried about Russians crossing over the border into Ukraine, maybe we should start worrying about our own borders first before we worry about something that's over on the other side of the world. And not only that, but you do not fight Russia in winter. You just don't. It's stupid. Ask the Germans. They know. Because as much as American history likes to say that, you know, yay, America during WW2, it was the Russians that did the vast amount of damage to the German forces, because Russia's like, hey, it's winter, man. And Germany's like, we're freezing to death. We can't handle this. So I got all the love in the world for us Yankees and us American men, but you do not fight Russia in winter. And I just don't. I am a peace-loving man. I don't think we should be in war for over something like this. That's just my personal opinion. So, all right, let's move on to the next story here. Let's see. If you're just joining, it's that we're doing a So She Left You and Broke Your Heart. We're just calling out all the bad actions by women and telling everybody why you're probably in a better, safer place being single nowadays. Okay. So this one's kind of a weird one, and I'm not going to go too deep into this. But again, these are all current articles that are being put out by mainstream, lamestream legacy media. This is from the Big Think. Progression bias. Your dating standards are likely lower than you think. They say we seem to have a progression bias that nudges us towards pro-relationship decisions and away from breaking up.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir.
I don't think so. Everything in society today is all about, hey, break up and being single is cool and blah, blah, blah. 200 Watt Studio says, Joker, whatever happened to your bus? My bus is sitting in a storage facility in Wyoming because fuel was $5 a gallon for diesel, and I only got about 8 miles to the gallon on the bus. And the oil pan kept leaking and getting oil into the transmission, and I couldn't shift it out of fourth gear. So I said, you know what? It's getting to be wintertime. It was getting to be late summer. I wanted tour around the Midwest, so I parked it, but I'm going to be picking it back up probably in a few more months. So they're talking here. They say 2021 review explored the existing literature on romantic relationships to see whether there's evidence for a so-called progression bias. Authors referred to a progression bias as a tendency to make decisions that sustain relationships rather than dissolve them. The review suggests that people are far less selective than you might think, and that biological and social factors tend to make pro-relationship decisions easier for us than choosing to break up. I don't know where they get this from, but what? Now, I'm not going to read the whole article, but again, I want you to be aware of what they're talking about in legacy media. This basically, this whole article goes in to say, you know what? People are staying with people for too long, and they've got a bias towards staying in relationships. We should break up, and you should leave somebody you're unhappy with quicker and sooner. And we know that's what's been happening in society today. It's one of the reasons why there's such mass failings. Like, marriage rate is way down. The divorce rate amongst married couples is way up. But in general, divorce is down because marriage is down. Less people getting married, so less people to get divorced. We're not meeting the birth rate that will keep our population the same. So and this is the same in Japan. It's the same in many countries where populations are actually decreasing because there's no long-term relationships anymore. And now they're coming out saying, hey, you know what? People are staying together too long. It's like, what? You got to be kidding me. All right. I thought, here's another fun one. Now, this is on Her Norm. Now, the reason why I'm reading something from Her Norm is because obviously this is to the women. But this is 53 irritating characteristics of needy men in a relationship. Now, the reason why I want to read this is because all the time we're told, I want men to love me, and I want him to share his emotions, and I want him to need me, and I want him to respect me, and I want him, and on and on and on and on, all the things that they want, right? They go on and on with a list. Well, what happens when they give you a list that is the exact opposite of the other things that they tell you? And they wonder why men are confused. They wonder why they don't know what in the hell's going on. When guys are like, I don't know what's going on. What do you want from me? I just don't know anymore. Because different women are giving out different signals and men are getting mixed messages. Zero Fallout 1 says, house, cars, motorcycles paid off. Never been hurt, but my eyes are not blind to the plight of men. Don't let the dating market crush you, men. Life gives you lemonade. Lemons make lemonade. Yeah, I agree. You got to make the best out of it. But you've got to, the thing is that many times, see, when you get in a relationship, the minute you emotionally give over your emotions, in other words, like the minute you say, oh, I love you, I need you, I worship you, I want you, the women are like, meh, done. I don't want you anymore. That's why being a stoic male and being a guy that is very, very, very in control of your emotions and very logical about your path through life will always have an advantage over somebody that thinks with his emotions. And look, the reason why I know this, guys, is because when I was younger, and I've said this in a couple of videos recently, when I was younger, I was kind of an emotional guy. I wanted someone to love me, and I wanted to love somebody. And we'd be married and happy together forever in true and everlasting love, devoted to each other, blah, blah, doesn't exist. But the other thing is, too, that I did want that validation from friends and from relationships where I felt like people liked me, or I felt loved, or I felt wanted, or I felt important. But all those emotions came from things outside of my control. It wasn't me that was in control of those. In other words, it was the validation I got from outside that. Dr. Red Pill says, Better Bachelor, you do great content. Keep it up. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All that validation came from outside, and I took it in. And if people are like, man, you're cool, and come party with us and come hang out with us, I felt really good about life. And then if people were like, you're short and you're bald and I don't like your attitude and you're a wimp or whatever, any other insults you want to throw at me, I felt really bad. Like I felt really down. And I'd go through this yo-yo in life. And many of you guys have probably gone through that yo-yo where like some friends say that they really miss you and you're cool to hang out with, or you go out on a great date and she says she really likes you and you have an emotional high. And then she ghosts you and your friends kind of blow you off for something, or you didn't get invited to something, then you're on an emotional low. And your life becomes this roller coaster of craziness. That will not give stability to anybody, and it will not give happiness to anybody. But what Stoicism does is you start finding inner focus. I think that the actual word for it is locus. You find inner peace, inner control. So now if I'm happy, well, I'm just happy. Like I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with my choices. I'm happy with the way things are going. And if I'm not happy with something, it's up to me to change it. It's not someone else's, like I don't have to rely on someone else to change it, right? If I'm not happy with my income, I work more. I change jobs. I get my crap together. I learn a new skill. If I don't like, if friends keep blowing me off or treating me poorly, I need to find new friends. I need to let go of those friends, spend some time alone. I need to find new hobbies. Right? As long as you're saying I and me when it comes to your happiness, that's great. That's the way to go. If it's why are you happy or unhappy, if you say, I screwed this up, or I'm working on this, or I'm fixing this, or I'm doing this, or I need to get to the gym, or I need to find a new job, that's great, because most of those things are in your control. They're under your control. But the minute you start saying, if somebody says, why are you unhappy or happy? And you're like, because my girlfriend did this and my job did that and my family did, those are things that are outside of your control. And when that's your life, your happiness or unhappiness is out of your control. It's other people that are controlling it for you. Martin, that one guy says, $30. Thank you, sir. Joker, I found your content in roughly 2018 and gave me a hell of an eye-opener. Would you also play me the Everything Woke Turns to...
Everything woke turns to shit.
Yes, it does, sir. There you are. Thank you very much. Killionaire says, great content, Joker. You should also talk about the 1960 sexual revolution, the illicit substances, music, and end of going to church, and the intrusion of hippies. Love you, bro. I probably would have been a hippie in the 60s because I'm kind of a freedom-going guy. So if someone says, I want to be able to freely sleep with whoever I want, I'm like, go ahead. And if someone says, I want to freely smoke whatever I want, I'm like, go ahead. As long as you do it and you're not a menace to society. Beta Fasta Chipa says, former Army combat engineer here. Sadly, the surest way to start a war is to look like you can't or won't fight. Bullies pick on wimps for a reason. Yeah, I think we're definitely in for some bad times. Scasey, 1960, thank you for the super chat. $9, $10. Thank you very much. Let me make sure I got all the other super chats read. Okay, I'm good. I'm up to date. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Let's go down through this listing, and you'll see what I'm talking about. These are the 53 characteristics of needy men in a relationship. Okay, guys, let's see if you're needy. Number 1, constantly trying to please you. Wait a minute, but aren't we told that men need to not be selfish and men need to please women? And of course this says constantly, but a clingy guy who likes a woman will stick to her as his life depends on it. He'll be a bit too accommodating and do things that inconvenience him just to please others. Let me read this real quick. Oh, it just disappeared. Let me read. From Mitchell Leonard. Like one of my favorite comedians, Dan Cummins, says, if you break down in front of a bully, they'll eat you alive. And that's how the world is today, or something similar to that. Yep. Be stoic. Be stoic. We're going to talk more about stoicism. All right, so they're saying if you're too accommodating and you do things that inconvenience yourself to please others, they don't like that. What's that mean? Babe, maybe you've gone on a date with a girl 3-4 times, and she says, hey, I'm moving. Will you help me move my stuff? You've known her for 3 dates. What should your answer be? No. Like, I mean, you're cool and everything, but like I got my own stuff going on. Like I can't come help you at the drop of the hat. Now you think that will make her hate you. It doesn't. It just means that she will see that you have things going on in your life and you're not available to her beck and call. And believe it or not, she'll probably find you more attractive for it. Always paying you compliments. Now, guys, remember, this is 53 things women hate about men or men that are needy in a relationship. This is written by a woman named Sonia. So for all you guys out there that are like, oh, but I'm going to be nice and I'm going to compliment this girl I like, and I'm going to kind of simp a little bit, they don't like it. She says it right here, always paying you compliments. They like to be paid compliments, but it's too much sometimes. Seems not to have friends. Remember what I told you about making sure that you've got a job that you love and your own friends and your own life and your own activities first before you worry about a woman? There you go. Women, if they see you don't have a lot of friends, they say, hey, you know what? Maybe he's focusing all his time and energy on a relationship, and he shouldn't be, because it makes a woman feel like she's too important to the guy. Women don't like that. Women like strong, independent men. He gives ultimatums. Yeah, no one likes that. He hardly has alone time. If the guy you're dating only wants to hang out and do things with you, he'll have time for himself. Yeah, women do not like it if you're too available. And remember, here's the thing. If they tell you, like if you look at pickup artist stuff and if you look at other dating stuff, they'll always tell you, like, play hard to get or be slow to respond to her or, don't take her out immediately after talking to her. A lot of that's true. I mean, even here, the women are saying, like, oh, I don't like a clingy guy or a guy that's too available. He doesn't let you have alone time. Yep, too clingy. He doesn't take things slow. I disagree with that. You gotta make a move in the first couple of dates nowadays, or you're not gonna. He's always calling. But what do we hear, guys? Oh, he doesn't text or call me enough. I hate when guys don't call or text me. Okay, so then we don't call or text. Then they're like, oh, he's always calling me and texting me. See, what she's saying here basically is when they find a guy hot, they want to do a little bit of chase. They want to see him as high value. But if he's clingy and he's always contacting her and he's always available and he's always around, he must not be high value because no one else is trying to take his time away from them. Do you see how this logic works? So if she broke up with you, broke your heart, and you're all bummed out and you're unhappy, you know what? Maybe you were too available. Maybe you were too much in love with her. Maybe you confessed, oh, I'll always be here for you, baby, and it's you and me, and nah, don't do that. He gets angry or nervous when you don't pick up. Yep. Responds speedily to calls and messages. And again, this is not dating. This is not a pickup dating coach article. This is from hernorm.com of what women do not like about men. They do not like you to be too readily accessible. Wayne DeLorme says she'll alienate you from the friends she doesn't like, though. Also, I dated a Yana with a J, not a fake Y. Oh, he dated a Jana with a J, not a fake Y. Greetings from Canada. Man, y'all Canadians. Whew. Guys are going to starve to death up there if the truckers keep keeping the food. So again, guys, don't make yourself too available. Don't make yourself too available. He's constantly liking your photos on social media. Get off social media. Stop giving her validation, period. He stalks you on social media. He's constantly sending you DMs. He's constantly seeking your approval. He's constantly seeking your attention. He's using emotional blackmail. He begs and bargains for attention. Do you guys get the gist of this? Passive aggressive. He's argumentative and absolutely needs to win. That's most women nowadays. He makes over-the-top gestures of love. Like he goes out and gets a lot of flowers and sends chocolates and says he misses you. If you watched that video I did on Kanye, buying that chick, Julia Fox, I think her name was, a room full of clothes, that's an over-the-top gesture. Women don't like it. That's why I say Kanye is going to be done before you know it. Bossa Nova Lobrecht says, damned if you do, damned if you don't. No. See, that's where you're getting it wrong, fellas. You're not damned if you don't. You're not. If you're focusing on your life and you're getting friends and you have a good income and your crap is together, if your life is together, you'll get attention. You'll get attention from women. But what happens a lot of times is guys will get the attention, and without realizing it, they're like, wow, I'm really happy to have a girlfriend again. I need to start paying her attention. I need to make sure she's happy. I need to make sure she likes me. And then they start putting too much energy into that relationship, and that's where she loses attention. IDGAF. Scribble it, scratch it, tattoo it into your skin. I don't give an F. That's the attitude you need to have in a relationship. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't care about them. It doesn't mean that you're not happy with the girl. It doesn't mean that you're not pleased she's your girlfriend. It doesn't mean that you don't treat her nice. But you need emotionally, as a man, you need to be in the situation where at any moment in time, she says, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with you and I'm moving on in life. If you can't respond with a, okay, good luck, and your life, your emotions don't change, you move, and you can't move on in life, you're not a stoic, strong man. I know that sounds crazy, and a lot of people disagree with me, but the best relationships I've had in my life, the best relationships for me, and where the women desired me the most and wanted to stay with me the most, is where I was just like, hey, you know what? We're going to do this, and it's fun, and we'll go on this camping weekend, and you know what? Here's some chocolates or some flowers for Valentine's, and here's a nice birthday gift. I'll take you out to dinner. I was a great boyfriend. Great boyfriend. But you know what I didn't do? When they were like, oh, I love you so much, I was like, man, that's awesome. That really makes me feel good. But it takes me a lot longer to fall in love, so I can't say that to you yet, but maybe someday. And I was genuinely being honest about it. It takes me years, probably, to be able to say I love you to somebody. But it's not, oh my God, I love you so much. You are the center of my universe, and I would die for you. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. A strong man will say, you know what, I love you, and I'm glad you're in my life. And if a girl says, what would you do without me? I'd be like, I'd move on in life. They want to hear, oh, I'd never date again, and I'd probably get to, no. You just say you move on. Rodrigo de Silva says, glad to finally salute you from Brazil, Joker. I love this channel. You've helped me out a lot when I was depressed. I really appreciate that piece. Good, man. I'm glad I was able to help you. There's never, ever, 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 never be depressed. Wild Ducati says 6'4" with a 6 foot 4 inches with a BS degree, teaching history, philosophy, and now owner of an athletic apparel company because BB sparked that. Take notes, friends. Catch you on Locals. Shiny side up. Much love from South Florida. Thanks, man. Glad you're doing well. I'm really glad you're doing well. Being 6'4" doesn't hurt. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, there was another one. There was another chat that just disappeared. Sorry, hang with me. Forum says, what the truckers are doing this is a good thing. Plus, we're just going to have get a surprise 48-hour fast at worst. I will admit I could use one. Yeah. You and me both. I'm a couple extra pounds over as well. No doubts, brother. But guys, do you hear all the takeaways from this, right? He chokes you with too much attention. He constantly misses you. He doesn't mind being a third wheel. He's willing to follow you everywhere. He interrogates anyone who wants to hang out with you. He gets unnecessarily jealous. He wants you to be involved in everything you do. He's overly dependent. There's 53 of these. I'm just going to read down through them. His emotions are dependent on yours. He has no boundaries. They abandon their interests for yours. They replace their opinions for yours. He replaces his hobbies for yours. He needs constant reassurance from you. He's more interested in you than you are in them. Do you see where this is going, guys? I mean, I don't think I need to read through all 53 of them. You get it. You stop becoming an individual, strong, charismatic man, and you start becoming a yes man. That you're putting her value above yours. You're putting her on a pedestal. And as they say, if you treat her like a queen, she will treat you like a peasant. And again, that doesn't mean you need to treat the girls that you care for poorly. It doesn't mean that you need to hate on them. It doesn't mean that you need to insult them. You can treat them very well. But when it comes to how you are emotionally around them, you should not be overly emotional. I can go out with a girlfriend or a girl that I enjoy spending time with, and I can say, wow, that was really fun. And I mean it. And it was a great time. And I treated her well all day. I treat her to, I don't know, breakfast or something. If she's if she's like you're in an actual good relationship with them, you treat them well. It doesn't mean you treat a woman poorly. You don't have to be a rude guy to be a bad guy, if that makes any sense. But if she asks your opinion on something like, do you like the red dress or the black dress better? If I said, you know what, the red dress kind of makes you look fat a little bit. She might like, oh, that's horrible. And I'm like, look, you just asked me which I like better. You don't want to look fat. The red dress makes you look a little fatter. I'm just giving you my opinion. I've had women get angry with me about that. But you know something else? They also know, when I'm brutally honest, that if I say, man, I really like that one, they know I'm being legit. I'm not just saying that to make them feel better. You know, if you go through life and you don't lie, you don't try to pad your feelings, you can go soft on them. You don't have to be an a-hole all the time. But just if you're an authentic person, you're going to be a lot better. If you don't put them up on a pedestal, you'll be a lot better. Ron says, Ron, just a 25 donation. Thank you, sir. Don't put them on a pedestal, guys. And so if you lost your girl and she broke your heart, this may be a big part of it, that you gave her too much value. Because I'll tell you right now, the number one person in my life that's most important to me is me, ahead of everybody else. Why? Parents someday they're going to just pass away. You know they are. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't take care of them and you don't love them and you don't place them like on par with you. But someday they're going to be gone and you're going to be all you have. You know, you can say, well, I would put my life ahead of my kids. I understand that. That one I can understand because they're your progeny and they're going to be living on long after you. Other than that, forget about it. No woman is ever going to be more important to me than myself. Feral Android says, sorry, I can't mod, still working. Thanks for the content as I drive CN locals. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. You know, so you guys got to love yourself more than anybody else. And I'm telling you right now, if you cannot get into a relationship with a woman to where you can treat her well and you're kind to her and you're supportive of her and you're a good man to her, but if you can't leave that relationship, or if that relationship ends and you can't be like, all right, man, that's cool. Like, I'm really glad we had that time together and I'll miss you. And it was awesome hanging out with you. Anyway, that's where you need to be if you're a strong guy. You know, if you picture somebody like Bruce Wayne or Bruce Lee or Bruce Willis or any other Bruce you can think of, when you think of these very strong men, do you see Bruce Willis crying on his hands and knees, wiping snot from his nose because his woman is leaving him? Do you see Bruce Lee doing that? Do you see Bruce Wayne doing it? Do you see any strong, charismatic? Do you see James Bond, Sean Connery? You know, take any strong traditional male character. All right, and that's one of the reasons why I hated the last James Bond movie, because he simped all out for this woman that he like barely knew. And I hated that. It was a weak James Bond. So Daniel Craig doesn't count. But other than that, if that's who you need, that's who women want. The thing is, they won't admit it. They won't tell you that. They'll say, I like a funny guy. Great, be funny. I want a guy that loves me. Okay, that's fine. But it's not a needy, desired, mommy, I want you, I'll do anything for you love. It's a, yeah, I love you and I'll take care of you and I'm really glad we're with each other and you're awesome. That's about it. And if they don't like it, I'll tell you something. If they don't like it, you say, look, this is who I am. If you don't like it, like, I understand. Go find somebody else then. And you think that would drive a woman away from you, but it won't. It lets her know you care about her, you've chosen her, but you don't need her. The minute you need a woman, you're done. Coach JR says, hey, Joker, you're doing an amazing job, and honestly, you're the most chill RP guy in the industry. Unfortunately, this area is getting saturated by fakes. Yeah, but you know something? Here's the way I put it. Some of the guys are fakes, but if they lie to you and tell you a message that resonates with you, like, if it takes some fake RPer, if they're like, guys, hit the gym and get your life and your money together and you'll be a lot happier. Well, they may be fake, but their message at least might resonate. So, you know, I think the legitimate ones will always shine through. They'll be the ones that stick around the longest. So here's another one I want. Now let's start getting into the craziness of women, right? Now let's start getting into the craziness of women. I did a search for how to love a stoic man, and I came across this article, and this took me down a rabbit hole that was funny and kind of funny and sad at the same time. And let me explain this to you. This is because I tell you guys, be a stoic man, be a stoic man. And then I said, well, let's find something from a woman that says she likes a stoic man. So let's read from Zebra Toast here and this is on, I think her blog, Lusting for Love on WordPress. And I'm not making fun of her. Let me be clear about that. This was just an article that I read, and I'm like, you know something? This actually is kind of true about stoic men. She kind of nailed it. So I'm going to read it. It says, you've probably dated one of these before, maybe a few. I've definitely had my fair share, although I just thought they weren't really into me or were simply a-holes. But how wrong I was sometimes. Some of them, well, she says sometimes some of them really were a-holes. But the stoic man does not enjoy talking about his emotions, his dreams, and his desires. Sometimes he really doesn't like to talk at all. He rarely gets angry or upset. He pretty much just takes things as they come and analyzes things logically. This can be really effing irritating for us women because we're naturally pretty emotional creatures, especially when our vagenes are that time of month. So we'll try to talk about our strong-willed men, attempt to coax sweet words out of his succulent masculine lips, and never end up getting the response we hope for. It's damn disappointing and can really make a girl wonder, WTF, what the F she's doing wrong, and why doesn't he want me, and he doesn't even care about me, and wah, wah, wah. I know, because I go through this on pretty much a weekly basis. However, I have learned things. I was feeling pretty crappy about my man not really talking to me or doing sweet things like other guys have done in the past. The stupidity of this situation is that, at the time, he had driven out of his way to pick up my best friend because I missed her. I'm stupid sometimes. Anyway, as he was driving and she was in the back seat, she texted me saying how sweet it was that he kept glancing at me when I wasn't looking, and meaning not glancing at that girl, but she said, I never noticed it before, but since she said that, our doors have opened for me. I noticed that he actually does a lot of little things that show he really does care about me. For example, picking up my bestie for me. Also, he'll buy me video games on Steam so we can game together while on the road. Sometimes he'll look in my eyes and his will close part way, and he gets this happy little half smile on his face, etc. You guys get it. Shadow Ghost says, my top 3 priorities. 1, my mental health. 2, my physical health. 3, my financial situation. 99,000 other people's needs. Yeah, exactly. Let me write this down, Shadow Ghost, because I'll get back to that. Okay. So anyway, so she goes through this list, and he's like, so he doesn't compliment me. He doesn't do these over-the-top things like everybody else sees. But she says, you know something? I start seeing him do these little things for me, like these little things that I appreciate. And I didn't see it because it wasn't overt, that it was kind of underlined. And that's the thing I think that a lot of people don't, like my father, okay? My father, he and my mother were married for about 55, 56 years. My father was, it took him a little while to laugh. Like once I learned his sense of humor as a younger guy, I could make him laugh. And I loved making him laugh. But I never really saw my father get really that upset. I never really saw him shed tears. Even when his sister died, I never really saw him get too emotional. Richard Head says, if you expose your emotions, dreams, and desires to a woman, she will target those things when she decides to lash out. Very true, sir. Exactly. So my father, if you were to look at the relationship between my father and my mother, or my father and us kids, you'd say, like, I don't know, does he even really love them? Because like my father would get awkward, like ridiculously awkward when one of us kids would go to give him a hug. Even when my mom just gave him a hug in public, he'd kind of be like, he'd be a little embarrassed. He just was not like outwardly affectionate, outwardly, like if I said to my dad, Dad, I love you, man. He'd be like, well, yeah, you too. Like he wasn't even comfortable saying I love you to his son. But it's not because he didn't love us. It's because he just wasn't a very emotional, like outpouring of love kind of guy. Ermin Ham Sandwich says, good to catch you live. Just a small thanks for all the content over the years. This is what young guys need to be getting taught in school. Thank you, man. Yeah, I wish they taught stuff like this. Ran Rui says, as a gay black male, it's sad what's going on these days. Also, these profiles of the day are pretty wild. It's like females are oblivious to how they come off and how much they really like to bring to a relationship. Yeah, they do. Although, let's be honest, I mean, a lot of the guys are having trouble in dating too, and some of them are going kind of crazy as well. I mean, a lot of guys are going crazy as well. But media is quick to call out all the guys. They're not so quick to call out the women. So that's why we talk about the women here. So my father didn't show all these emotions. He wasn't over the top for my mom. But what did he do? For me, like for my sister, he made sure she had violin lessons. And if she wanted to play a certain sport, he made sure that that was covered. If she had, I don't know, if there was something special that she wanted, he made sure to take care of her that way, I guess, which would be a little bit more of a financial way. But that's what she wanted from my dad. From my mom, she got the emotional stuff. From my mom, I got the emotional stuff. But from my dad taught me things. My dad taught me like how to make a bow out of a branch and take a stick and make fire out of a stick and string. My father taught me that. Or how to use a magnifying glass, or how to put water in a drinking glass to use the water in the drinking glass to magnify light to make a fire. Like that's the kind of stuff my dad taught me. My dad taught me how to sharpen a lawnmower blade and oil a chainsaw, and how to change spark plugs on an engine. You know, how to soak a carburetor and get it to where the airflow is right. But the time he took to teach me these things is because he loved me and he wanted me to be successful in life. But he wasn't like, oh, love you, man, and you, dude. And that's not my dad. And I'll tell you something. That's why, you know, his loss in my life, it was everything to my mom, to me, to my sister, because he was the pillar of strength or he was the trunk of the tree that our family kind of blossomed from. That's what I think of when I think of strong men, when I think of men that are loving and that are caring. But so guys, if you're find yourself in a position where you get those heartstrings and you worry and you fret, what if she finds another guy, and what if she doesn't love me, and she broke my heart, and look, you can put yourself in a place where you can date long term. You can even be in love with a woman. You can be with a woman for several years. What breaks your heart is when you've given up your life path and your dreams and your goals and your aspirations to follow hers. And you drift into her lane. Because what you're doing is you're giving up who you are as a person to make her happy. And so you start doing things for her and you've given up your dreams. Then when she leaves, then when she walks away, you're left in the middle of nowhere. You're not following your dreams. You're not following your passions. You're not in your happy place. You're not doing what you love. You did all that for her, and then she just left you adrift. And now you're like a little canoe floating out in the middle of the ocean. No direction, no engine, no drive, no nothing. And you know what? If you took me and dropped me in the middle of the ocean in a little tiny canoe with no food or water, I'm done for. You're just going to drift until you're done. But instead of that, if you say, you know what? Here's my course. Here's my goal. Here's my aspirations. Here's where I'm going in life. If you'd like to come along with me, I'll try to accommodate you. I'll try to make sure this works out the best for both of us, but I'm on my path. And then guess what? Then when she walks away, you say, I'm still on my path. I'm still doing my thing. I'm still headed in the right direction. So instead of being in the middle of the ocean in a canoe, you're in a big luxury yacht, like hauling down the coastline. You know, you're in control of it. And again, this doesn't mean that you need to treat them poorly or you need, but why? Because men are not nearly, and I mean real men, stoic men, strong men, they're not flaky. They're not flaky. If I say I'm going to be there, I'll be there, or I'm going to give you an hour or two heads up that I can't make it because of an emergency. I don't just show up because I don't want to show up. I don't just break up with somebody because we get in a little bit of an argument. I don't break up with somebody because a pair of T&A walks by, Bob's and Vagin walks by, that's beautiful, and she winks at me and says, I'd love to go out for coffee. I don't say, oh, this is better. I'm breaking up with my girlfriend to go after that. That's not what stoic men do. Stoic men make a decision, they stick with it, and they go with it. Well, women won't do that. Women don't do that. They're the all over the place butterflies. I'm not sure what I want. I'm going to go chase this excitement. I want to go have fun over here. I don't know what's going on. Where am I? I got bored of him. I want to do something else. So when women are like that, right? When women are like that, why would you try to tie your anchor to a balloon that's going to float off and drop you in the middle of nowhere? You don't. Doesn't mean you can't date, love, sleep with them, enjoy them, be with them, but don't tie your boat to them because they're too emotional. Now, let's get back to this, right? So this zebra toast writes this story, and then down here, people, and this is in October of 2014, okay? She says down here, this is a response she posted to this story, because somebody said this. I'm in love with this post way more than I can describe. I started seeing a stoic, this is from a girl named Chrissy that wrote a response. I started seeing a stoic man, and I'm so grateful for him and just enjoy him so much. Sometimes though, being a woman, I feel needier than other times, and I want that mush you speak of. But in reality, I know he does a lot of things just because he wants to be around me. Well, so she says, I like a stoic man too. But here's what's funny, right? Down here, she says, Zebra Toast responds to it and says, yeah, this is an old post. I've since found someone who's actually cares and supports me. This one was an emotionally unavailable jerk. So wait a minute now. Where's my button? Wait a minute. Darn it, I have so many pages on this soundboard.
Wait a minute.
You might say, wait a minute. But she broke up with the stoic guy. He was emotionally unavailable. She broke up with him. Okay, well, let's check in to see how she's doing after that, all right, after she broke up with the emotionally unavailable man. That's from let's see, her post was from, when was her post from? April of 2013. Golden Oldie says, what example did your dad have for showing affection? Usually only girls are taught that. What example did your dad have for showing affection? Usually only girls are taught that. Luckily, he showed you in another way, David. Thanks, David. Yeah, Dad showed me love by teaching me, by making me smart, by making me prepared, by making me strong, by making me aware, by making me relatively stoic. I fell off that for a while, but I found it again. That's how Dad showed me love. Okay, so this is the stoic man thing was in April of 2013. And then she says, well, I broke up with him because he was unemotional and unavailable. Okay, so let's see how things turned out. Let's see how things turned out for our butterfly here after breaking up with her stoic man. Let's see. So after, what did I say that was? That was April of 2013. Okay, so she says, after April 2013, she says, the greatest thing you'll ever learn is to love and be loved in return. She says, now I've fallen, you better know than to trust a man or fall in love with one. So she fell in love August 2013. So this is like 4 months after breaking up with Mr. Stoic Man. She fell in love in August. Oh, but September 8th, my melancholy king, she says, I thought I needed him. Need. What does that even mean? Blah, blah, blah. She broke up with him, just so you know. Then in September 16th, a week after that, Seriously, I could eat you up. So conflicted. You already know everything I want to say, and blah, blah, blah. I read all these. I'm not going to read all this because it'll drive you crazy. September 16th, she falls in love again. And then on 18th, it's like, oh, gory bits of me and you. And she writes about the love. And then on November 4th of 2013, this is a rant because I got cheated on with a stripper. And then she writes something, a little poem about being healthy and mentally well. And then December 4th, I hate myself for loving another liar. And then she writes up here, anatomy of a psycho. And if you look, I won't read through all of it, guys, because it'll drive you crazy. But do you see something here? She was with a stoic guy. And she said, he didn't give me everything I wanted, so I moved on. And in the course of the next couple of years, I love this guy, I hate this guy. I love this guy, I hate this guy. I love this guy, and now I hate this guy. And then I love this guy, and then I hate, and it goes on and on and on and on. And it just scrolling through the years, because this is her blog, scrolling through the years, she's talking about love and then hate and then love and then hate and then, oh, his scent and how he smelled. I knew this man was right for me by his smell before he even got close to me. And then a little bit later, it was something else. And the whole point is that she at one point did love a stoic guy, and she says he was emotionally unavailable. Why was he emotionally unavailable to her? Because she's like this. She's a roller coaster. She's all over the place. So I love this guy. I hate that. Oh, and by the way, she ended up pregnant before all her little story was done. One of the guys she was with ended up getting her pregnant.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
Stoic. Okay, what I just saw flying by, I don't know what stoic means. Stoic means unemotional. It means thinking with logic, thinking with reason. You can be emotional, like you could be happy or sad, but it's not what controls your life. Stoicism is about letting logic and reason and good judgment and sound mind lead your progress through life. It's not letting emotion lead you through life. That's a very simple. So anyway, all right, let me keep going on here. So she ended up getting pregnant. And this is with one of the various men that she was in love with and then hated, or loved her, then left her, or something else. If she just stayed with the stoic man, she'd probably be happy. Now, would it be butterflies and rainbows and blah, 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 blah? No. But you don't want to be with a man like that anyway, because they're unstable too. That can be pretty scary. Wild Ducati says, as a teacher, I teach this stoicism, logic, and unfortunate realities. I think we'd have a great conversation on or offline. Your dad sounds like mine. I might be the only RP teacher alive who knew. Yeah, there's not a lot of stoicism being taught. Marcus Aurelius, Sun Tzu, is it Sun Tzu? There's a lot of them, but people don't talk about them anymore. They want men to be emotional and in touch with their emotions and non-toxic and sweet, and they want them to be more feminine, less aggressive, and that's not what women want, because when they get it, they're unhappy. Every time they get it, they're unhappy. And if you want proof of that, look at the very first article I read on this live stream. My husband of 14 years, he never did anything wrong. He was great. He was supportive. We never fought. He was funny. We had a good time together, but I got bored. So at 46, I left him. Okay, we're going to get into some of the, again, that was the toe dip in for the emotional crazies. Okay, this one, I'm not even going to do a lead up to this. I'm just going to play this outright. This is the story of a young couple who's like getting interviewed about their first date or dating. Both these people look to be 18, 19, 20, something like that. I'm not going to give a lead in. I'm just going to play it, and you guys can hear for yourselves.
I had other crushes, but I wouldn't kiss nobody. I was just kind of weird. And when I met him, it took me a while to kiss him. Because I was really innocent.
Forever. Took her the longest to make out with me.
Okay. I got to break this up because I don't know if this is on YouTube. So let's start that again. She said, it's been forever. It took me forever to kiss him. Forever to make out. Okay? That's the lead up. I'm going to play that part again, and then I'll just let it finish through to the end. But now you guys know what this is about.
I had other crushes, but I wouldn't kiss nobody. I was just kind of weird. And when I met him, it took me a while to kiss him. Because I was really innocent.
Forever. Took her the longest to make out with me. But we had sex before that.
Yeah.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
They slept together before they made out. I'm going to play that part again. Now remember, this is the young generation that's coming up.
But we had sex before that.
Let me back it up before that.
Really innocent.
Forever. Took her the longest to make out with me. But we had sex before that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What do you mean? You had sex with her before you kissed her?
So now I think she's got a bun in the oven. It looks here either that or she's got a couple of pounds on her, but she looks pretty young to have this body shape without. And I don't know what show this is, so I can't even look it up. This is just something I saw online, and somebody's like, I'm confused. Is anybody else is confused? So she says, I'm innocent. I'm super innocent. And he's like, yeah, she is so innocent. Everybody's so innocent. We were so innocent. It took her forever to make out with me. It took me oh yeah, I didn't kiss him forever. And he's like, yeah, but I slept with her before we even made out. And she's calling herself innocent. He's saying she's a very innocent girl because they didn't make out. But they slept together, but they still both consider her innocent. Is
emotional damage.
What? Born Disposable says they will never tell their son's true nature. Cuck dads, the victims have lost their identity. Souls, born disposable. We are. Yeah, we are. But that's why if you rely on yourself, you don't have to worry about being disposable or not. So now the best part of this is this look on the guy's face. He's like, yeah, we did. I slept with her before I even made out with her. Super innocent. I'm just going to play this for one more time, then we'll move on.
Make out with me, but we had sex before that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What do you mean? You had sex with her before you kissed her?
My man's like, yeah, you know what time it is. But these are the same women that are saying they're innocent. I don't know how old she is. She looks to be 16, 17, 18, something in that range. Remember, the same girl that tells you she's super innocent and I haven't even kissed a guy doesn't mean that she didn't sleep with a guy. If this doesn't tell you our society is all over the place, man, I don't know what does. I really don't. I really don't anymore. I don't know. I got nothing.
Oh, wait, you serious?
All right, here's another one. Okay, and this is the Mitchell Tribal says, dated a girl like that once. She never wanted to kiss until we were serious, but I was able to smash whenever I wanted. I actually dated one of those as well. She said she wanted to save kissing for marriage, but everything else was okay. I was like, okay. I mean, it wasn't a long-term serious relationship, but I was like, okay. Like, given the two choices, do you want to make out and not sleep with each other, or do you want to sleep with each other and not make out? I think most guys would be like, yeah, I don't have to kiss you. I guess that, especially as like a young 19-year-old dude who's full of testosterone, you'd be like, all right. All right, so continuing on our video segment of craziness. This was posted by Libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok is my new favorite Twitter channel. So the guy says, so this happened last night. He says, keep in mind we had never met and randomly met each other during a live stream. So they met during a live stream. What the live stream was, I don't know. But I want you to hear this girl's response to being called Miss. That's all he did. is he said, something, something, miss. And just being called miss, which is the same as a guy being called mister, listen to her freak out and watch his face. Now, he does remind me a little bit of a neckbeard kind of guy, you know, that has the neckbeard and the, good day, my lady, a tip of the fedora to you. I don't know if he's really like that, but watch the look on his face as she rants on him.
If that's what you're doing, I respect it.
Well, I appreciate that, miss. But at any event,
What the
I'm
fuck
gonna
did
get...
you just call me?
All right, so let me scroll this back because I had to scroll up a little bit. But watch her freak out when she gets called miss.
That's what you're doing, I respect it.
Well, I appreciate that, miss. But at any event,
What the
I'm
fuck
gonna
did
get...
you just call me?
I said miss.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Look at the look on his face.
What's wrong calling you miss? What just happened?
Do you call people that? What the fuck do you call people that for?
He's just like...
So this is happening. Sorry, I did not mean to offend you. It's just me being polite. I didn't call you ma'am. I didn't call
I
you
don't
ma'am.
care about, like, why are you calling people miss?
It's just like me calling somebody sir. I'm calling you miss. I don't mean to offend you. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I definitely made you angry, so I apologize. And good night. And she left. So that just happened.
Now, here's the thing, right? Like, yeah, okay. I don't know how they actually met. It was over some stream or something or other. But here's the funny thing. She said she was fine being called ma'am. She said, I don't care if you call me ma'am, just how dare you call me miss? Well, ma'am and miss are kind of the same. I mean, miss is the term for a single woman is miss, and ma'am or Mrs. is usually saved for a married woman, I believe. I know Mrs. is a married woman and Miss is supposed to be a single woman. But she just freaked out for no reason over getting called Miss. Do you see why men start getting confused over this stuff? Why they feel like they're walking in a field of landmines trying to date? Like, this guy's trying to be nice and be respectful, and he ends up insulting her by being respectful? Like, who even does that? No wonder. But I thought you guys would get a kick out of that. And if you guys are on, I don't use TikTok. I almost said TikTok. Oh my gosh, no, do not install TikTok. TikTok is the gateway into the third dimension of hell. But I am on Twitter because that's where I troll to find a lot of my stories and stuff. If you don't follow libs of TikTok, it is the best crazy. Even Joe Rogan follows it, he said, because they have craziness. All right. Here's an updated story, guys. So I did the story of the lady that sells her farts in a jar, right? And apparently she had to stop selling them because she had a blowout and had to go to the hospital. Well, here's an update on the story. Ladies and gentlemen, she's found love. Oh, yeah. A woman who sells farts in a jar has found love with a fan. Spicy. All right. I was just kidding with the music there. Yeah. So the woman that farts in a jar and had to go to the hospital, she says she found love with a fan on the airline. And I say all the time, hey, you know what? She's never going to fall for a fan. Like, these girls don't care about their fans. Never. But here's the kick to it. The 90-Day Fiancé star who sold her natural gases in a glass jar but was forced to stop when she was hospitalized because of it was traveling to Turks and Caicos? Caicos? C-A-I-C-O-S. Caicos? I don't know, man. I keep wanting to say chow, but I'm like, well, it's kind of chow, but with a cow in the middle. Chicos. when she met the mystery man. She said, I got on the flight. I'm sitting in business class, and the person sits next to me keeps glancing over. I'm trying to show that I'm smiling with my eyes. So we get our champagne right before we're about to take off. So this is business class or first class, obviously. So needless to say, it shows he's got money. Cake costs, someone says. Cake costs. Wow, I would have never gotten that. Stupid American reading foreign words.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
All I speak is English. Cacao, cake house. Cake house. Hey, y'all got any of that cake house over there? I'm going to cake house. So she says, first class, we got our champagne right before we're about to take off. I take my mask off as I'm about to have a drink and take a picture of myself. Wow, so she's taking a selfie with her champagne in business class. What a shock. He's like, oh, do you want me to take a better picture? Can I take it from a higher angle, which all women like because it gets rid of their double chins? And needless to say, she said, he went on to add, he goes to take a picture of me and he's like, okay, this is crazy, but you don't you happen to be an influencer? I was like, yes, I am. Basically, he knew the whole story about how I'm fart jar girl. And she said they're basically meeting up afterwards. So it's not a boyfriend, but she's going on a date. And yeah, she's going on a date with him. And they met in business class. Now, we don't know what he looks like, but hey, you know what? Here's the funny thing. And I still say I'm right about this. He wasn't on her social media saying, oh, you're so beautiful and you're amazing and I want you. He wasn't donating money. He wasn't buying anything from her. He just happened to say, you look familiar. Are you an influencer? And then they started talking about the story. So again, she says she went on a date with a fan. Not like he knew about her deal, but he wasn't a fan. He wasn't a simp and he wasn't thirsty. But even a girl that farts in a jar finds love. All right, let's do another fail here. He blocked me. So this is another TikTok thing that has 2,600 likes. She says, he blocked me on everything for 3 years and just direct messaged me and asked me for my number. So I gave it to him only for him to laugh, react, and reblock me again. Jaden Coots says, listen to the BB, this crap is real. I was victim of paternity fraud, and 12 years later when I confronted her falsely accused of a serious crime, $25K cleared, but obviously no repercussions for my ex. Yeah, they can make fake claims against you, and they get away. Like worst case scenario, they get nothing or they get caught. Best case scenario, if they don't get caught, they get your cash and prizes, so be careful. So this chick blocks a dude, or I'm sorry, this guy blocks this chick for 3 years. So obviously he was probably alpha, giga, hot dude, Chad. He blocks her, then he unblocks her to ask for her number again. So she gives it to him and he just laughed at her and reblocked her. Again, they all want the same men. They all want the same men. So guys, if you're struggling with dating, if you're struggling with getting the girl, if your girl left you for another dude, stop stressing out about it. They all want the same dude, and you probably aren't it. Sophia Catalanos, 500 yen. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. If you guys haven't been to Japan, go to Sapporo, Japan in the wintertime. It is beautiful, and the skiing there is amazing. I spent almost a month in Japan, and like Tokyo is amazing. Like they've got underground connectors between the buildings, so they have streets on top, and then they have this cool where you go down stairways and you walk like you're inside of a mall or a shopping center, but it's actually under the main city. Really cool city. I didn't get to see Mount Fiji though because it was covered in fog. All righty, next. Okay. Look, whether you're for face coverings or not, whether you're for the jab or not, imagine having a girlfriend that responds like this to getting a cold?
I feel really hot, so I'm taking a COVID test. No. I literally think it's positive. Oh my god. Mom, I've fallen.
Megan, do not go getting a
That was like the coolest characteristic about myself that I haven't gotten. I need to take another one. I'm so sad.
Relax.
Someone's making fun of me. Did I mispronounce Mount Fiji? Did I say Fuji? Hey, I'm pretty, but I'm not smart. I'm loved. I'm loved for my face, not my intelligence. Someone says 500 men. Okay, so how about reacting that to getting a cold? Okay, and
really
she
hot,
literally
so I'm taking a COVID.
literally just look at this reaction to getting sick.
Oh my god. Mom, I've fallen.
Now, the best part is listen when she says not getting sick was the most defining characteristic about her.
Megan, do not go getting a
That was like the coolest characteristic about myself that I haven't gotten.
That was the coolest characteristic about myself that I hadn't gotten it yet. Really? Really?
You need many years of therapy. Many years of therapy. And I bullshit you not.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me with this. And she's like in the beginning when she's like, Ma, calling her mom and just that silent whine. The coolest characteristic about myself is I haven't had an illness. And now, guys, okay, now in the beginning, let's rewind here. Again, I know you may not necessarily agree with me. Okay, let me try to, okay. She has a little bit of the creepy eyes, but for many guys, again, if you were to meet her out at a pub or a bar or at a shopping mall or whatever, and you met her and she's like, hey, you know what? Yeah, she's like kind of decent, cool, and you hang out and you have a decent conversation with her, you might be like, yeah, I'll go on a couple dates with her. You go on a couple dates with her, and before you know it, this is what you end up getting, crying like a 3-year-old that didn't get a lollipop because you got a cold. So again, when you feel like you're not able to date or your girls are breaking up with you and they're not paying attention to you or something's going wrong, guys, you got to remember, man, legit, many of them are going kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're going kind of crazy. So you don't put it on yourself. All right, let's do dating profiles since I got this up here. Oh, there's a peach for you, fellas. A peach right from the tree. Just think, guys. Just think, you could be telling your children someday that this is their mom. I met her on a dating app. I loved her personality. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Ugh.
And some, I assume, are good people.
Just unbelievable. She's 20 years old. 20 years old. And what'd she say? I have a son, and he's almost 2.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
I'm looking for hookups and friends, but I'm open to a relationship. Now, guys, I'll ask you this. If somebody says, 20 years old, I have a son. Let's just start there. I'm 20 years old and I have a son. How many of you are like, right there, you're like, I want this girl for my girlfriend. I want to marry this woman. This is my future wife.
No.
No. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. She's already put herself in the boy toy category. She says, I'm looking for hookups. I mean, she's straight up about it. And I mean, if you're hoping to get a hookup, that picture will probably do it. And friends, I got news for you. Any guy that contacts her is not looking for friends, but she's open to a relationship. Any guy that messages you, ma'am, is not looking for a relationship. The only thing she's going to get out of this, honestly, probably, the only thing she's going to get out of this is probably hookups and maybe a second kid, like legit. That's all she's going to get is more hookups and a second kid.
Classic move. Oh, yeah.
Yep. She says, I love to hike and would love to check out the area's trails. She says, I'm originally from Alaska. Must like dogs because I want like 10. Featured in my photos is my girl, Yuno. Now, what I'm not sure about is she says, featured in my photos is my girl, Yuno. Now, let me ask you a question, guys. Is this her or is this her girl, Yuno? Because she says featured in my photos is my girl, Yuno. Now, maybe there's some other photos that has her friend in it. But based on this, it might not even be her. I don't know. Her passions are photography. Shocking photography. Hiking, fishing, outdoors. Maybe catfishing if this is the photo of her friend, and not her. Someone's like, you know what? Yeah, exactly. All right. Second profile of the day. I have a couple of them for you guys today. This one, I don't have any crazy photo for, but let's get started here. We'll play a little music over this one. This girl is 29, and she is heteroflexible. Now, what exactly is heteroflexible? It means she's kind of straight, but maybe not sometimes. She's single. She's a Jewish yogi, filmmaker, actor, goof, painter, project manager, lover, tantrika, dog, plant, mom. Wow, that's a lot of mess. So she's a filmmaker and an actor and a goof and a painter and a project manager and a lover. And, okay, here's the warning sign out of all this stuff, honestly. Yoga might be a little bit of a warning sign because that usually means granola crunchy tree hugger. Sometimes. But if somebody calls themselves a dog and a plant mom, that's a warning sign. That is a Karen waiting to happen in 10 years. And in 15 years, I'll tell you right now, in 15 years, this is the woman that pushes her dogs around in a stroller. I'm Not Me says, $20. Big fan of your content. Thank you for some sanity. Thank you, sir. And Rusty Shackelford. Rusty, can I tell you this? That name, I'm going to write this down because I put all my top donators in thank you credits after my videos. Rusty Shackelford either sounds like the world's toughest rugby player. That's Rusty Shackelford on the pitch. Or it could sound like a 1960s hillbilly spicy movie creator. Hey, baby, I'm Rusty Shackelford. I'm here to give you a good time. Come here, baby. Know what I mean? They call me Rusty Shackelford. All right. I just love that name. All right, so warning sign. First one, dog plant mom. This is the girl that's going to have her dogs in a stroller by the time she's 42. Future Karen. She says dedicated spiritual. There it is. There's the warning sign. Magical and creative practices daily.
Emotional damage.
Oh, I almost missed that. Let's hit it again.
Emotional damage.
Magical and creative practices daily. So I'm guessing, guys, there may be a little bit of, I'm not sure, maybe there's some bloodletting or some leeches involved after your dates. I don't know what magical and creative practices daily means, but that frightens me. All right, someone's saying Rusty Shackelford is from King of the Hill. Never seen it. Never seen it. Maybe I'll have to check it out. I don't know. But either way, that's still an awesome name, whoever came up with it, for the creators of the show. So she says, ideally looking for a spiritual, gym, skiing, yoga buddies, creators, wizards.
Hold up.
She's looking for a wizard.
Hold up.
That does not. What is a wizard? What is a wizard?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir.
What does it mean when a woman says, I'm looking for yoga buddies, creators, wizards, true friends, and lovers who are down for deep conversation, healing, being silly, and actually exploring kind of crazy expansion practices in bed? I can't read some of those words. So apparently she's looking for a guy that's like a young Gandalf that works out, goes skiing, is into yoga, but he's kind of got to be like Gandalf, and he also wants to get busy in the bedroom for hours at a time. Wow. Wow. I could just sit here and every one of these I'm reading off just keeps spamming this emotional damage button. I could just get, like, constantly. There's more red flags here than a parade, a Russian parade. You know where I'm going. Says aligned with someone intelligent, conversational, consistent, genuine, who's in therapy.
Holy Jesus. What the fuck is that?
Guys, I'm looking for somebody that's in therapy. At least she's looking into someone else that has as many red flags as she does. I pulled these profiles up like a week ago, and I've just had them waiting here for my live stream. So I had forgotten she even wrote this stuff. Your Game Corner says, hey, Joker, finally caught you on a live stream. Ha, thanks for everything you do in the community. Thank you, sir. Thanks to you and other YouTubers in the manosphere, I've learned how to become a better man. I've got much left to learn, though. We all do, man. You're learning all through your life. Trust me on that one. All right, guys, she's looking for someone that's also in therapy, who's fun, who's emotionally available, and knows their attachment style. Bass Bro 1 says, let me write this down again so I don't forget these names as I'm going here. Bass Bro 1 says, $50. Thanks, sir. Wizard is a magician. He can make anything happen, like a top player. I'm thinking, I don't know. I think she wants a magician to make her see fireworks, honestly. She wants that, she wants the butterflies, so maybe he can, like, abracadabra, get off like a racehorse something. I don't know. Open to whatever naturally arises. ENM. Oh, wait for it. And she's poly. Shocking. And if you look down here at the bottom, I can't read these words because it's Google. Just read these last words here, what she's into. She's into, one of these words does not belong. One of these things is not like the others. One of these things just doesn't belong. If you don't know which these does, whatever the thought. That's from like Sesame Street, for those of you that don't know, a TV show here. One of these things just doesn't belong. She put friendship in the middle of all of this. She put friendship in the middle of all of this, guys. I can't read the words around it, but she put friendship in there. That, I'm guessing, does not belong. Just a guess. Wow. That doesn't make any sense. But you know what? Honestly, here's the funny part, guys. Honestly, here's the funny part. If she's smoking hot in these photos, guys will look at this and they're like, okay, how can I figure out how to sleep with this woman without her snuffing me in when I'm asleep? Because, hey, I like freaky stuff. Like I say on what was the movie? I keep forgetting it now. Idiocracy. Like on Idiocracy. I forget the guy's name that was his attorney. Oh, I like money. Oh, yeah, I like money. I like money. When you read all this stuff about this girl here, you're going to be like, oh, I like sex. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like sex. I want that. Yeah, I'd like that with her. I want that. So, you know, when we talk about the crazy hot scale, even if she's a 10 hot, she's definitely a 10 crazy. You are in the do not touch zone. This is, wow. This is bad times. All right, let's do the last dating profile of the day. Let's see. Louis Beckman says, may I request that you catch up on your emails, please, kind sir? I've got like I'm behind like by 3,000 or 4,000. But I try to start at the most recent and work my way backwards in time. So if I get like if I get a new one and I miss it, and then I get a lump of 20 more, I start working through those 20, and then I get a lump of 20 more. And I'm working on it, Louis. I promise you, I'm doing everything I can, my friend. I get so many. It's so impossible. I try my best because I love all you guys sending me stories and stuff, but I get so many of them. All right, let's see our last dating profile of the day. For those of you just listening, she is in kind of lingerie, but here's a red warning sign right there, guys. You see that ring right there? Do you know what that is? That is a selfie ring light. That's so they can, because I have one that's kind of off to the side. Now, it may not be necessarily a red flag, except here's the thing. It's in an empty room. Like, there's nothing else in here, so I don't know what she'd be. Angela Swain Hubbard, $5. Thanks, sir. It's in an empty room, so. Brandon Gierdsma. I try my best. I'm just a dumb American. Give me a break. He said, literally had the bug 2 weeks ago. Worst it got was a fever and bad aches to the point where I could barely leave my bed. Didn't have the jab either. Some people are really crazy. Yeah, when it comes to that girl crying like she had just been given the end of her day's sentence. All right, so let's see about our dream girl here, our creator that's in the black lingerie. Your Game Corner says you should hold a better bachelor convention. I would really appreciate and the content you put out so more men are aware of really goes on. Okay, guys, let me pause here real quick then, and I'll give you an update. I put in an offer on 25 acres of land. A little bit of it is cleared, very little. It's mostly wild woods. It's somewhere between Michigan and Florida. Like it's somewhere between, it's kind of middle of the East Coast. Close to North Carolina, Tennessee, Western Virginia. It's kind of in that area. And as I narrow it down, like if I actually get the land, I'll let you guys know more about it. I don't want to jinx myself and say I've gotten it, but I put in an offer, 25 acres of solid woods. And it's close to amenities, so it's not like out in the middle of nowhere. So I'll probably flatten some of the land, make some camping and tent sites. I'm really excited. I'll tell you something. It cost me an arm and a leg for 25 acres where I got it. But if I get it, it's going to be amazing. Like, it's going to be awesome. It's somewhere around the Tennessee, North Carolina, West Virginia area, somewhere around there. So kind of like center, so that way it's like equal distance to New York or Michigan or Texas or Florida or East Coast or Kansas. Like it's because the Midwest where I am now, or the Northwest where I am, the Pacific Northwest, there's not a lot out here. There's not a lot of people. So I started looking for land that's going to be kind of central to where most of the United States, the people in the U.S. live. So there's an update for you. I've got my fingers crossed so hard. I'm going to be broke after I get it. I'll probably be living in a tent in the middle of the land, but if I can clear some of it out, maybe make a cabin or get a steel frame building that might be like a 2 or a 3 car garage, I'm hoping I can insulate it, put in a pool table, a nice wood stove, a bar, maybe like some couches, sit around a big screen TV for watching sports. And then it's going to be one of those things where if dudes just want to get away from the world or you want to get on vacation, you can come down, maybe a small donation or something to put a little money into the cause, and then like camp out for a week or two. And I'll have maybe a camp, like a camp area where we can have campfires and, you know, cooking hot dogs and stuff like that and playing guitar and drinking beers around a fire. So that's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see how it goes. And I've put in an offer on the land, and I'm just making sure here I'm caught up on my. Philip J says, "What a resume for this for the previous dating profile." Yeah, I know. I'm just making sure I got all the live chats caught up here. Thank you guys. I just don't want to miss anything, because if you're kind enough to donate, I want to make sure I read them. Okay, I'm caught up. So guys, I'll let you know. I've got an offer in. I'll let you know if it was approved. It'll probably be closing in the next month. I'm here in Montana for another couple of months, and then I haven't even seen the land. I just looked at a satellite picture and looked at the outline of the plat, or the like the property outline based on the deed and all that stuff. But with 25 acres, like that is so much. I'd have to look up, but it's several soccer fields / football fields. Like, it's a lot of land, Okay, dating profile. Let's keep on. So she's in lingerie. She says, about me, snap me, at her Snap address, of course. And it says, looking for something I've never seen before, tired of the same old stuff. That's it. That's the entire dating profile. Guys, she is tired of seeing the same old, same old. So you need to come in and entertain her. You need to come in and make sure that it's something new that she's never seen before. Matt Hewer says, $10 for the BB compound. Thank you, sir. Looking for something I've never seen before. Looking for something I've never seen before. Tired of the same old stuff. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. That's it. So her butterflies are burnt out. Her butterflies are burnt out. No more. She's not having any more fun. Show her something she's never seen before. And I'm telling you, based on the way she's dressed, I have a feeling she's seen it all before. That's just my guess. So what's our takeaway, guys? So, wrong button. Let me try this one. There you go. What's our takeaway, fellas? Look, guys, stop getting all, if you are. Now, I know a lot of you are out of the dating world. I know some of you are dating successfully. But, you know, here's the big thing, guys. Stop stressing if your girl left you. Stop stressing if you can't find a girl. Stop stressing that you don't think you'll ever find true romantic love where she'll love you for whoever and whatever you are. It's not going to happen. And you shouldn't love a woman in that way anyway. You're going to fall into emotional heartbreak because you're going to be following her on her path more than likely. And then when she dumps you, you're dumped in the middle of nowhere. Don't do that. Get on your path. And look, I'll give you a good example, okay? I'll give you a good example. Let's say, let me take a sip of my drink here. Let's say I'm dating a woman that's amazing, that's great, that's wonderful. And I decide I want to buy land in a certain area. And she says, I'm going to go to college, or I'm going to be working in this other area. Which choice should you make? To go follow your dreams and buy the plot of land that you want and maybe make a retreat or a campground or something where you can get together with friends and do your thing? Or do you say, you know what? She wants to live somewhere else. She wants to go somewhere else. I'm going to follow her. I'm going to hold off on buying my land. I'm going to live where she's living. And that way, you know, she'll be at work and I can maybe find a job in the area and I can be close to her and we can be together. All right, well, you decided to give up on your dreams to help her follow her dreams. So when she inevitably ends up dumping you or breaking your heart or cheating on you or something doesn't work out, and then you say, oh, man, if I had bought that land that I wanted, I could have this and I'd have all these things that I want. But instead, I gave that all up to make her happy. And what you're doing is you're giving up solid ground, right? You don't build a castle on sand. You don't build a castle on sand. You build castle on solid ground. Well, as you've seen from just some of the posts that I've done tonight, some of the videos I've done tonight, a lot of these women's emotionally are sand. They're all over the place. They're chaos. They're all over the place. Why would you build your castle on their sand? Because when their sand decides, oh, he's got a six-pack, or this guy makes more money, or he's taller, or I want to chase my dreams as a underwater basket weaver in gender studies, when they decide to go off on their crazy old path, your castle's sunk. Like you've tied all your resources and all your everything to her, and she's just going to dump you and leave you. The smarter way to go about it would be to say, Rusty again, chase her path. She's looking for better than you. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So the better choice would be, hey, you know what? Go do your work, man. Like chase your passion, chase your dreams, you do you. You're going to lose that girl maybe. Or you know what? Or maybe she says that you're right for her and she comes back to you at some point, and then you can make the decision whether you want to take her back or not. But you say, hey, good luck to you, man. And I hope that works out for you. Chase your dreams, but I'm going to chase mine. And in my case, I'm using this as an example, but in my case, I'd buy the land. I'd build a home on it. I might make, I don't know, a pool hall / bar / campground where people can come and either pitch a tent or bring a little trailer, or maybe I have a couple of cabin spots, or maybe in this big steel building, it's like a bunkhouse. And you guys can be like in the military where 8 people just crawl in there. Whoever shows up sleeps in the bunk. I don't know how I'll figure it out. Depends how much money I have left over after buying the land, to be honest with you. But, or you go and do that. Which is going to ultimately make you happier? Which is going to be around for you? Which is going to be there for you? What is going to give you that satisfaction? I'll tell you this now. It will be the land. It will be your career, not her career. It will be your hobbies, not her hobbies. It will be your passions, not her passions. Because hers are going to go at some point. Hers are going to change. Her feelings are going to change. Her excitement level with you is going to change. The thrill is going to change. Something's going to change. It always changes. But for men, once we find something we like, we usually stick with it as long as it doesn't change. As long, men marry the women they want, and they want the women to stay that woman. Women marry men, and they want to change the men into what they want. Well, women are always trying to change stuff. They're emotional, and there's nothing wrong with that. They just are. So I want to change. I want to change the living room. I need a new refrigerator. Let's put new paint color in here. Let's change this. Eventually, let's change you. I don't want you anymore as a husband. I want to change to something else. And I know how most of you guys are. You guys are like me. I wear my T-shirts until they have like a lot of holes in them. And then they're undershirts. They're not outer T-shirts anymore. Then they just become under T-shirts that you wear underneath something else. But you still have them, even though they got holes in them. Underwear is probably the same. If you're really brave, socks are that way. You paint a room a color you like, you will probably die in that room with the walls being the same color. That's how men are. We're very easy to please, and we go for what we like. That's men. Women like the change. They like the excitement. They like the emotion. They like the butterflies. They like the thrills. They like the chills. They like the scares. They like all that stuff. If you try to hitch your post or hitch your wagon to that post, you're done. So just remember that, guys, going forward. All right, so as I get updates, I'll leave it here, guys. As I get updates on the land, I'll let you know. Again, I might only have enough money to get this land, and that's it. I may have to wait another 6 months or a year till I can afford to put something on it. I mean, I'll probably be driving my bus up there and just living on the bus until I can get some sort of buildings built. But your game corner says, if you ever come to Chicago area, you're welcome to stay. I hope everything works out with the bid. Thank you. Thanks again for everything you do. Thanks. I can't come to Chicago. I can't go into a restaurant or in anything up there because I don't have my passport. So I won't be up there until they change the laws on that, let me tell you. So yeah, I'll let you know, guys, when I have I'll let you know when I have the bid in, if I've heard anything back and what the plans will be and all that stuff. And thank you guys that are supporters over on betterbachelor.locals.com. Those of you that support me during the live chat, those of you that watch my content and see the ads pop up. Like, even if an ad just pops up for the 3 or 5 seconds there, it's a penny in my pocket. Actually, it's less than a penny in my pocket, but that stuff does add up over time. And it does put, eventually, those pennies turns to nickels, which sometimes makes it to dollars. So thank you, guys. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for supporting me. Keep up the good fight. We'll see you in the next one, guys. And remember, keep your attitude up. Like, stay in a happy place. Jason P. says, do what you want to do and let it happen. Do what you want to do. Let it happen. Ultimately, if you do well, she's waiting at the finish line for the winner anyway. Yeah, just make sure you're a winner. So, guys, keep your head up, keep your chin up, keep fighting the good fight, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay smart, stay strong, all that good stuff. We'll see you around.